The Nintendo Switch has one of the biggest libraries in gaming, and there are so many different kinds of games you can discover and play. However, there are some games on the Nintendo Switch where the majority of people may not like or disagree with. Whether it's a game you've sunk an obscene amount of hours into, an underrated gem that everyone hates but you love, or even a game that satisfies your inner hunger for, well, you know. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about guilty pleasure games on the Nintendo Switch. However, I'm not alone, as there are another 11 creators in this video today. Let us get into the first guest of this collaboration. Take it away.
Hey everyone, retrobrandon here again. Seriously, Nimbus just can't get enough of me. Right, Nimbus? And my guilty pleasure game is not a retro game, and thus I feel very guilty. Unless, of course, you think the Switch is retro, in which case I can't blame you. And that game is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Why is this my guilty pleasure game, you might ask? Mostly because of how much I drove my wife nuts by playing this game. I have over 450 hours in this game, and I played it through 5 times. 5 times. And the DLC. Despite its name, there are actually 4 paths in this game, and I just couldn't get enough of it. So I played through a 5th time after beating the DLC to get all of the perks by doing so. And one of the best things about this is I feel like I'm in the top 1%. The Fire Emblem Illuminati, who sees all the discussions around this game, the characters, the story, and everything. And it's wild how off people's takes are on characters when they've only played 1 or 2 paths of this game. Edelgard in particular gets so much hate if you haven't played the Red Eagles path. Well, the true red, since there is the split in that path. And look, I get it. Most people haven't devoured this game like I did, so they just genuinely don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And while I won't spoil it, I would recommend going crazy like I did for this game and doing all of it. Each successive playthrough gets easier as you accumulate and roll over renown, which can be used to purchase things like professor levels and supports and skill levels and class masteries, etc. So I've convinced you, you say?
Nope.
Shut up. So I've convinced you. So here are the things I would recommend if you want to play this game. First playthrough, go hard on class accumulation, especially for Byleth. Second, my preferred order of play by path was as follows: white, red, blue, yellow. Obviously get the DLC somewhere in there as well. If you have to go less, do at least red and yellow. And by red, I mean stick with Edelgard. And if you can only do 1 path, as much as I want to say red, I would say go yellow. That last boss battle theme is enough to make that path worth it, but that path will give you the most background information in general. Cue God-shattering star, Nimbus! Oh, he's totally not gonna do it. Anyway, thanks for having me on once again. If you want to hear more from me, then check out retrobrandon, where you can reach for my hand and we can soar away and you can watch some videos, and I think you should stay. Alright, enough with the stupid references. Go play Fire Emblem. Back to you, Niblis.
What's up, guys? It's Paul, aka 90s Handheld Gamer here, and when UpperNimbus asked me to come on here and talk about my guilty pleasure Nintendo Switch game, there was one game that immediately came to mind for me, and that game is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. And there's a couple reasons why this is my guilty pleasure Nintendo Switch game. The first one being that I had already spent around 120 hours playing and beating the original version of this game. So I have felt a bit guilty about playing the new version all over again, buying the game all over again, when I have so many other good games and quality JRPGs in my backlog that I still need to play. But on the plus side, this is a phenomenal game and I'm really enjoying it. And the other reason why this is my guilty pleasure Nintendo Switch game is because for a long time I had actually been avoiding mature content, and this game is definitely rated mature for a reason. It does have a little bit of vulgar dialogue in it, and it definitely has a dark and demonic theme to it. But I could not help but fall for the forbidden fruit that is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So do yourself a favor and play a real Shin Megami Tensei game. And if you're not already and you enjoy top tier JRPG, and Nintendo Switch content, make sure you subscribe to my guy, UpperNimbus.
Hello, John aka chickenfillets here, and thank you to the one and only UpperNimbus for having me on to discuss, well, guilty pleasure Switch games. Now, when I got asked the question, I knew exactly what game I was going to pick. Now, thankfully, I don't actually have to talk about JRPGs for once, because, you know, I always talk about that being a JRPG related channel. Yeah. And that game is the Sonic Origins Collection. Now, this game features 4 of the original Sonic games, being Sonic 1, 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. Not that I'm a big fan of Sonic CD, yes I know, but hey ho. So why is this a guilty pleasure game? Well, to be honest with you, the Sonic Origins Collection didn't really go down too well, because when it got released there was bugs, which I don't know how you can get bugs on a game which released on, you know, the Mega Drive, an 8-bit, 16-bit console. I mean, come on. But the fact of the matter is that I now have every Sonic game that I grew up with on a handheld device that I can pick up and play on the go. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of my all-time favourite gaming heroes. It was the main character that I always associated gaming with when growing up. And honestly, I just love the Sonic games, you know, so there you go. But the real question is, what is a guilty pleasure game for yourself? Let myself and UpperNimbus know in the comments down below. Anyway, I have been John aka chickenfillets. Please come over to my channel and say hello. And until next time, tatty bye.
Hi, I'm Angela. My guilty pleasure game is this cheapest chips game on the eStore called ASMR Slicing. As someone who is a lover of ASMR, this game is great for me. The game, you gain and earn different slicing materials and different objects to cut. With the basis of the game is to cut them up, sometimes with hidden gems inside. The more you cut, the more you hear, and the more you unlock. So why is this my guilty pleasure game? If I said I sat on the couch and cut a burger 100 times, you'd think I'm crazy, just because I like the sound? As someone who loves sensory toys and could possibly be a neurodivergent, who wants to be normal? Normal's boring, but this game, to many others, may seem boring, or as there is nothing to achieve, and I get it. It's not a fast RPG, but for me, it is the AMR slicing game I need. Thank you for UpperNimbus for this collab. Can't wait to see everyone else's. Bye!
What's up everyone, I'm Luca from feiitogaming and I have a confession to make. I was never really interested in the Pokemon series. Still, I thought I'd give it a try, bought Pokemon Sword and enjoyed it, and then I played Pokemon Violet and yeah, I had a fantastic time with it. So it kinda became my guilty pleasure game for me. Don't get me wrong guys, I know this game isn't exactly good, but damn, I had so much fun. As you may know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are criticized for many things, and rightfully so. The graphics are horrendous, the performance too, and the open world is bland, ugly and boring to explore. And you know what? I agree. For a game franchise with this amount of money, this is not acceptable. Also, I get that some people hate that combat because it's super easy thanks to the elemental weaknesses displayed in combat. Still, I had a great time and even spent around 60 hours with Pokemon Violet. That's because at the time, all I needed was a mindless game that doesn't require anything to be good at it. Running around an empty world just to run into a new Pokemon every 5 minutes was just so much fun. Like I almost had this tunnel vision, and since I played that during Christmas time, it was the perfect distraction from the real world stress. Also, I enjoyed the simplified combat so much because this Pokemon game allows you to shred everything standing in your way without wasting a thought of what you're doing. Or one thing I genuinely like about Scarlet and Violet are the 3 story paths. The classic one with the gyms, the one where you take down the evil group of students, and the one where you help investigate strange acting Pokemons. Honestly, I thought this was so cool and such a nice change from the usual defeat this gym leader and get their stupid medal. Last thing I want to mention that really showed me how much I enjoy this game. I was driving home around Christmas time and the train drive usually takes 4.5 hours. Due to some complications, everything took way longer, so I ended up sitting in the train for like 8 hours. And you know what? I played Pokemon Violet and I didn't even notice. That's how much I like the game. Alright, thanks so much for having me, UpperNimbus. It was really nice to finally talk about this and confess how much I like this game. Let myself and UpperNimbus know your thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in the comments. I'll be there to defend this game. Alright, see you guys next time.
What's up, dudes? My name is Ghostlink, and thank you so much, UpperNimbus, for having me on today's video. It's truly an honor. My personal guilty pleasure is going to be SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. This game is great. I'm a huge fan of licensed games, especially ones from the early 2000s, where we saw a lot more of. Back when they were making games after every movie that was coming out, basically. But yeah, SpongeBob is a blast. If you're a fan of the TV show, you're definitely going to love this one. The gameplay is solid, it looks great, and it's definitely going to make you laugh. This is a 3D platformer game, similar to Mario Odyssey, as well as Kirby the Forgotten Land. The one main thing that I love about the game is the nostalgia that it brings. It really takes you back to the days when you were first watching SpongeBob, which I'm a huge fan of. And not to mention, this is a great summertime game. So yeah, if you're a fan of SpongeBob, I highly recommend adding this one to your list. It is awesome, you are gonna love it. Alright, so there you have it. There's my personal guilty pleasure. And thank you so much again, UpperNimbus, for having me on today's video. Like I said, it's truly an honor. Huge fan of your content. With that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys later. Happy gaming, and God bless. Peace.
Hey legends, this is Kozstars, and in my channel I like to do some fun anime and Pokemon related content with an occasional live stream and good vibes content. So I want to say a huge thank you to UpperNimbus for inviting me to this collab. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Let's play. So if in Kozstars, why have I chosen this game out of every other game as my guilty pleasure game, you can say? Because I love the variety of characters on this roster. It features so many amazing crossovers between the Super Mario and Sonic universe. You can see I'm highlighting all your fan favorites. They're all here to choose from. The Mario and Sonic Olympic Games series has always been so much fun with how easy these games are to pick up and play. Yes, we always enjoy games that you can just play on the go, either with your friends or by yourself, with so many fun events and modes to choose from, which includes a very cool feature I quite like, which lets you go back in time to 1964, and this mode brings that retro nostalgic gameplay that you remember from back in the day. So my final thoughts are this: sports games are just not as fun anymore. They've lost their edge, but you add a Mario or Sonic character to any of these sports modes, so you just become so much more fun. Like seriously, this football mode, I played this for so many hours. Just that fun Mario Sports gameplay. And any of these games that release as their own, I'll definitely go out and buy each one. Hint, hint, Nintendo, we need a new sports mix or a baseball game right now. That'd be awesome to see. Thank you so much, and go check out everyone else who was in this collab. Peace.
Hi, I'm Milla over from millasgameroom. Thank you to UpperNimbus for inviting me onto his channel for this collaboration today. My pick for the, well, I picked two technically. I'm going to talk about Idea Factory, and of course, I can't talk about Idea Factory without first talking about Hyperdimension Neptunia, because this is my first pick for this video, and if you know Neptunia, you know what it is. It's a very Marmite series, and although it's not super great in terms of the gameplay or the story, the characters are what really make it and carry the games. And the Neptunia Rebirth trilogy is now, well, it should be on the Switch by the time this video goes up, because Idea Factory were like, yeah, let's just delay it at the last minute, and that's exactly what they've done. So hopefully they actually do come to the Switch and they're not cancelled. That aside, my second pick is going to be Cupid Parasite Sweet and Spicy Darling. In typical millasgameroom style, when I'm going to talk about collaboration titles, it's going to be Cupid Parasite again. And specifically, the fan disc, which is an after story for Cupid Parasite. You played Cupid Parasite before playing the fan disc. To sum up why Sweet and Spicy Darling is my guilty pleasures Idea Factory Otome game, I'm going to talk about the first 5 minutes of Gil Lovecraft's route, where in other words, you get to see a hot CG of him and Lynette on the beach. And you can probably imagine it's in the promotional opening theme, so that basically sums up the game. Up the sweetness, up the spiciness. Doesn't quite always work, but it does work most of the time, and it's still a lovely experience seeing more husbandos. Idea Factory, that's basically them in a nutshell. Guilty pleasure, if you've played an otome game or an RPG on Switch, looks really niche and anime, it's probably from them. So, that's my pick. Now let's move on to the next person. Thanks again to UpperNimbus for inviting me onto his channel today for this collab, and see you over on millasgameroom.
What's up, gamers? My name is NGG, and I want to thank UpperNimbus for having me on this collab about our guilty pleasures. And I want to talk about one of my favorite guilty pleasures that came out at the launch of the Nintendo Switch, and that was Skylanders Imaginators. The reason this is my guilty pleasure is because I know it had a lot of things that a lot of people didn't like. So a lot of people were done with the toys to life aspect of the Skylanders. They also thought this was too kiddish and too expensive to get into, so I understand that. Also, you had to bring out the portal of power for most games, but this game changed it where you did not have to bring out the portal of power to play. You could just play on your NFC chip Pro Controller or Joy-Con. It had a lot of like platforming adventures where you were going against the bad guy Chaos, and in this one specifically you could be the senseis were villains from the past games, and other senseis were brand new senseis to the franchise. So I did like how you could be the new senseis were half of them were past villains that were reformed, aka reformed, and half of them were brand new senseis to the thing. You also, this game came with also a crystal which had a lot of availability for changing up what kind of character you wanted. The only thing that the crystal had on it was the element, and you could make that crystal whatever you wanted. You could make it a smasher, a ninja, you could make it whatever you wanted. And that was the thing about this game that I loved the most. It was just your imagination, all the things you collected in the Skylands. Like every box had this little treasure chest of little pieces of these Imaginator crystals in there, and after you got these pieces, you could create and recreate your Imaginator as much as you wanted. There was a special way to reset your Imaginator if you wanted, which I ended up doing because I kept wanting to change out my Imaginator and make it the best possible Imaginator possible. So I did like that you could name it whatever you wanted, be whatever you wanted in the game, look whatever way you wanted in the game, and follow along these villains, these senseis, and have fun in these Skylanders games. I know this was the last Skylanders games to come out, and I did appreciate that it let your imagination run wild in this game. So that is why this game is my guilty pleasure, and I want to thank UpperNimbus for having me on your channel, and thank you guys for watching.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy RadBash. Special shout out to UpperNimbus for having me on. He asked me what my guilty pleasure Switch game is. Do not judge me. It's Untitled Goose Game. When Untitled Goose Game was first announced, I thought it was a joke, I'll be honest with you, and I thought it looked really dumb. But one day my sibling came to visit and we decided, hey, let's just pop it in and check it out. And this was, after it came out, way after it came out. And we had a blast with it. It was so much fun. So Untitled Goose Game, you take on the role of a goose and you go around basically just messing with everyone you come across. You're taking food from picnics, you're breaking things, you're doing goose shenanigans, I would say. But I don't know, I really loved it. The music was really good. It's a very relaxing, cozy game. I never thought I'd say that. It's a cozy game, and I actually enjoyed it, which, shocker, Rad likes cozy games. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun, especially if you have someone to sit down and play it with. I definitely recommend you should check out Untitled Goose Game. It is worth noting that it is on other systems other than just the Switch, so let's say you're not a Switch fan, you can get it on something else. There you have it. What's your guilty pleasure Switch game? Let us know down below. Thanks again to UpperNimbus for having me on. Like always, guys, stay radical.
Oh, choices. What shall I play tonight? Let's have a look. What haven't I played for a long... Oh, Wonder. Oh, I haven't played Wonder for ages, actually. Let's play that. Yes, get me that Wonder seed, baby. Come on. Oh. Back to it. Oh. Oh, snap out of it. You played it for 32 hours yesterday. You're not playing it again.
Ah! Have it your way! Come here! Yes! Come on! I love it! Come on! Again! F it! Come on! Yes! Yes! I love this game!
So my choice for a guilty pleasure game on the Nintendo Switch is actually Catherine Full Body. Now this is a game that I have mentioned on the channel a few times before in some previous videos, and I couldn't help myself but to choose it as my guilty pleasure Nintendo Switch game. There are some obvious reasons why this would be a guilty pleasure. It does have some very heavy adult and ecchi themes. It's not actually a game that I would recommend playing in public or on public transport. You know, it's kind of a game that, while it is very good and has an amazing story, great character development, the music is outstanding. This game is so addictive, and every twist and turn for the story. There are so many different pathways and avenues, different alternate endings. You can end up with a variety of different girls, well, 3 actually, but it is a game I played a lot during the winter back in 2020. It was absolutely freezing down here in Australia when the game released in July of that year, and I had an absolute blast just rugged up in bed playing through the game. The puzzle gameplay within Catherine Full Body, where you're climbing the blocks in Vincent's nightmare sequence, is absolutely addictive and also very challenging at the same time. It is something that I kept coming back to again and again, and I really wanted to power through that story and find out the truth behind each and every girl's alternate pathway and ending. Now, there's actually still a few alternate endings that I haven't uncovered in this game, which offers Catherine Full Body to deliver some of the greatest replay value, as you can discover those alternate endings and find out the absolute truth behind every alternate path within this game. So that is why Catherine Full Body is my choice for a guilty pleasure Nintendo Switch game. And if you are going to play this game, just make sure that you're playing it in a suitable environment, because you don't want the wrong set of eyes judging you for what you're playing. So there you have it, everyone. Those were 12 guilty pleasure games on the Nintendo Switch. Please be sure to check out all the creators in this video today. Their channel links will be in the description below, and also the timestamps. Also, don't forget that if you did like today's video, be sure to subscribe for more JRPG and Nintendo Switch content, because I would love to have you on this journey. So until the next time, everybody, UpperNimbus is signing off.